This is live. And I'm going to just share a little bit of information with you. This is going to be part one of a number of series. First of all, we're just talking about when to start your seeds. Hello, how you doing? Now let's see. This person is going to either clock in right there and be totally anonymous, or they're going to say hello. Right there, they're going to type hello. Okay, they're going to be totally anonymous. All righty. And let's see what we got here. So when you have seeds that start, you want to make absolutely certain that you're not, first of all, starting them too soon. And there's a couple of key things you got to just pay attention to. Like, for instance, your larger seeds, your pumpkin, your cantaloupe, your watermelon, things like that. Those particular type of seeds, you don't want to really start them so early that that you go and wait a minute. I can't keep this plant, because they'll actually grow and get big on you. Plus, it's a really fragile plant. They're really fragile, soft stems. You get the picture. Hot peppers, on the other hand, you want to start them a little early. Try to get them in probably about anywhere from 12 weeks from your actual last frost date. And say, for instance, I'm right here in Maryland, so my last frost date would be around May the 15th. Now, why I say around May the 15th, because you know yourself, we've been getting some really, really strange weather for the last 10, 15 years. And I don't mean that to make it sound like, oh, this is strange. Like, it's not doing what it once did. It now shifts and moves in a different pattern. So let's see, we got some things you can start a little bit earlier, probably. You got your thyme, your rosemary, your clover, basil, and you can start them 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. And that's something you can do. Basil, 4 weeks before your frost date. Let me just retract that. 4 weeks before your last frost date. And the farmers, old Farmer's Atlas is what you want to use to kind of give you some guidelines there, because there's some information there, that'll guide you in the right direction. But whatever you do, don't start your seeds too soon. Don't do that unless you really, really are a skilled gardener. Because if you start them too early, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have issues, folks. That stuff's gonna be in there growing. If you get tomatoes going, and then they're gonna get too big for the pot, and then you see them try to go to seed, and they will go start putting out blooms. And once that happens, that plant is gonna be subject to having all kind of issues. From when you finally move it to the outside, after you harden it off, it's gonna have issues. Dropping leaves, dropping blossoms, major setbacks. So you want to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, folks. So that's where I'm at with this. So make certain that Farmer's Atlas, you follow that. Find out when your last frost date is. It's very crucial that you do that. Once you do that, you're on course. But keep in mind, it's not written in stone, this thing that it might say, for instance, your last frost date might be May the 15th. Well, it might be May the 17th, May the 18th. But at least you're in a decent ballpark where you know exactly, you got a good general idea when you're supposed to have your seeds. started so you can get them up and growing. You don't need any major setbacks. Another thing I say, grow more than what you need. Start more seeds than what you actually need, because you might have a setback. You might have a dampening off. Some seeds may die. Some seeds stem may get broken. Whatever. You want to make sure you have enough there. Thyme clover 10 to 12 weeks before the last frost day. Count backwards. Whatever that date is, that's when you want to try to start those plants. Oregon, same thing. Start big seeds. Like I said, big seeds. You got your okra, your melons, your squash, your eggplants, your zucchini, cucumbers, not tomato plants. But these are plants that some are big seeds and some have really big roots. So that's an either or right there. Really big roots. And when you have really big roots, you need a pot that will hold that particular type of plant. I like to start mine off initially with a 3-inch pot. Right off the bat. 3-inch pot. I don't want to go from the little small pots to the 3-inch and then to the 5-inch. I don't want to do that. I want to go right from that 3-inch. And if I have to go up to a 5-inch pot, then I go to the 5, and then the next step is right in the soil. I did pretty good by buying some 5-inch pots at Walmart. They were like 98 cents a piece. That's no sale by any means, but it's an affordable pot. And the pots are pretty good. They hold it on a little small reservoir of water. Ugly color, but who cares about the color of it? So do that, folks. When you start your seeds this time around, instead of having dead seeds and having to replace them and that sort of thing, make certain that you just get the seed start dates correct. Make sure that you keep the seeds warm. Make sure that you have decent lighting, whether it be if you're going to take them outside and then bring them back in, if you don't have lighting, or you're going to have some decent lighting. I made mine from a shop light, and all you have to do is supply it with the correct bulbs. Anything above the start line, I would say about 5,000 lumens. You can look at the bulb and get that information right off of that bulb. 5,000 lumens. And you want to make certain that you do this, because if you don't do this, your plants are going to sit there saying, what's going on? I don't have enough light. I can't regenerate and do what I'm supposed to do. So you can make your own light with the shop. Like I said, the shop light. I did mine, stayed way under cost, like $21, $22. I bought the light, unit, and I think it came with a plug and everything, or I had a plug that I added to it. However, real cheap. The bulbs, I think I bought the bulbs separate, and they were beautiful bulbs, and I put them in there. And you want to make sure you bring that bulb down. Once those plants germinate, you want to bring that light down to about anywhere from 2 inches, not really above that. I keep mine right down about 2 inches from the plants. And then every time they grow up to it, just keep moving the light up to that 2-inch away from that plant. And you will keep your plants nice and healthy and stout and strong. You don't want real long and, real limp, long plants, because they're going to get broken off. They're going to be unhealthy. They're not going to be just a good deal. Tomatoes are a little bit more forgiving. What they do, the tomatoes, is that you could, instead of planting them this way, you can turn them sideways and put them in the ground, and they will tend to, produce roots all along that stem. Another thing is planting deep. It tends to take the soil a lot more time to warm up down there. If you go down like 8 and 12 inches deep in the soil, which I have folks, let me tell you what I bought. I bought a really nice spade about two years ago, I believe. Decent, about $35. and it goes down deep, folks. It's like about, I want to say about, it's not under 12 inches deep. It is a spade that if you want to put your plants down that deep, let me see if I got that right. Yeah, it will go that deep. And you want to take the soil out. And trust me, folks, you have a lot of you have clay soil. You got heavy clay soil. Just throw your plant in there by mixing it up a little bit or tilling it and say, all right, this soil is loose and it feels good. I'm going to use it like this. Don't do that. Actually, amend the soil. You will thank yourself later because what you're trying to grow, and I'm going to make this short and sweet because I see that people are collecting in the room but no one's saying anything because they say, boy, this guy can talk. I don't want to say anything because he's but here's what's happening. Get in there, amend the soil, add some compost to it, or whatever you want to add to it, whether it be compost, whether it be cow manure, some peat moss in there. But the peat moss, be careful because peat moss is somewhat acidic. You may need to add a little bit of lime in there to kind of, counterbalance that. You know how that works. So that's it, folks. Today, this is the Morning Gardening Show. And you can see I'm making the show shorter and shorter and shorter because I got to have audience participation, but everything's good. I appreciate all of you that did stop in and everything. And so you take care and have a good day. Remember to keep on growing. And thank you for the thumbs up as well. I appreciate it.